Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste, and a very warm welcome to all of you to the Blub World's 4th Global Education Meet. In the last 3 education meets that we did, they were all on ground with a lot of stakeholders coming in, talking. It was quite a bustling event, but since we are all right now enjoying our homes, so let's enjoy the next 60 minutes that I have with you within these small little frames. And welcome once again to the 4th Global Education Meet and the 114th roundtable of Blub World. Till now, we have conducted more than 100 roundtables where more than 1,500 school leaders have participated, shared their ideas, opinions, observations, innovations, and everything new that they're doing within schools. And itni sari baatcheet, itne sare logon ke beech mein, we got an amazing list of ideas. We created 4 white papers and published around 300 amazing ideas that are right now being experimented, implemented, and tested in more than 5,000 schools across the world. And these ideas have phenomenally helped schools during the lockdown to continue teaching and learning. But when we here welcome you today in the Global Education Meet, the motive is very simple. Let's create one more idea repository that schools can use for this new academic session with 2021 coming in. The biggest challenge being in 2020, we knew that we had to be locked down and be within our homes. In 2021, we don't know that whether we have to come out or we have to be inside our homes. So just for everybody's information, this is a bilingual platform, so you can use English or Hindi as per your choice. Don't use a third language. If you use, we won't get it. So try sticking to these 2 languages. And if some of the participants are not able to get Hindi, don't worry, it's just an idea that we'll try to bring out. Once again, I summarize, the person, whatever he has said. So, अंग्रेजी हिंदी दोनों भाषाएं इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं, कोई चैलेंज नहीं. तीसरी कोई भाषा इस्तेमाल प्लीज मत कीजिएगा. And before I start, this is a timed platform. So once your speaking time is over, you might get muted. If you get muted, please don't get offended. We respect you a lot. It is just so that this whole activity gets finished in time and we are all able to enjoy this crisp engagement. So I hope you enjoy the next hour and a half that you have with us. Thank you everybody once again for joining in. Today, we'll be talking about restarting education. Restarting education as a combination of words offends a lot of people, but this is something that we need to actually talk about. Because इतने समय के education के trajectory में education का objective obliterate हो गया था. और COVID ने उस objective को वापस से जिंदा कर दिया. And we now have to revisit why do we need education. And जो objectives हैं उन्हें relist करने की और कुछ को delist करने की जरूरत हो गई है. So today from all of you, we would want to know some of these innovative ideas that schools can use, and most importantly, अपने speaking slot में try to give us a forecast for 2021 कि आपकी education की crystal ball gazing क्या कहती है. What do you think is going to change forever, or what's new going to be there in the education space, specifically K-12 in the next 12 months that they have. And a very happy new year to all of you. Once again, welcome to the Blub World's 4th Global Education Meet. Let me invite the first speaker for today. He's somebody who'll add a little bit of energy to the round table. He comes from the sports background. शायद कुछ थोड़ा खेलना हमें भी सिखा देंगे on this virtual platform. A very warm welcome to Mr. Krish Iyengar, who's the business head of Sports Village Schools from Bengaluru, Karnataka. Krish, a very warm welcome. The next 3 minutes are yours. Welcome to the platform.
Thank you. Good morning to this wide experienced group of people who joined us for this call. So jumping in straight, when we speak about restarting education, naturally, I think our focus is on the kids. Let's spend a few seconds to understand their current state of mind. It's been 9 months. Children typically spend the bulk of their time in 2 locations, home and schools. Schools has been taken out of the equation for the last 9 months. They have been at home, indoors, and some of the freedom that they have experienced in the past has been clearly curtailed. So that's their current state of mind. We need to look at that and figure out how do we move them to a state where they can restart learning. And hence, naturally, coming from the background that I represent, fun, play, and learning are all clearly intertwined from that perspective. Next, having discussed with some of the school leaders that we work with, while there is a sense of optimism in this new year, there's also a clear need to be prepared for the unexpected. We would all be of the optimistic belief that schools should start opening up soon. But we also need to be prepared for the fact that there could be school closures as well, which might happen from time to time, which we have seen in Europe, in Korea, and other places. Hence, the need for a hybrid model where you leverage both the digital and the physical platforms is something that I'm hearing while speaking to the school leaders. The next part is, how do we embrace the COVID safety protocols for the new session, but still deliver a good experience that combines learning outcomes with fun and engagement? Therefore, some of the things that we have looked at Sports Village is an enhanced curriculum to cater to the revised norms of social distancing, a new training program for all our trainers to ensure that this plan is carefully executed, a revised set of activities that limit physical contact, increase the props ratio to avoid multiple children from touching the same set of props, and the obvious set of safety precautions like wiping down the sports equipment and so on. So these are certain things that we would be looking at when we return to the physical, playground. But if we are to assume that there's a hybrid model, then in the digital space, we have figured out ways to effectively conduct live sessions across Zoom and other platforms across multiple sports and disciplines. We've also introduced a gamified leaderboard to ensure that some of the physical education assignments that can be done in the safety of the home can be done while the children also experience the concept of competing with their classmates. We've also been looking to figure out ways in which you can identify talent, again, using the digital route. So in summary, we are also prepared for the fact that home is the new playground, and let's embrace that as well as a part of the new normal. The third point that I want to call out is that all of you have seen the NEP. And one of the critical things that we want to talk about there is the play-based learning and the multidisciplinary approach. So if you use the term pedagogy, I'd like to give you a couple of examples of what we would be looking at. So we worked with a school in Tamil Nadu called the SMBM school. And they came up to us a year ago and said, look, the concept of linear motion is something that kids are finding it difficult to understand in the classroom. So our sports trainer worked with the subject teacher to figure out a way in which that could be implemented on the playground, right? If you were to extend this further, you could look at the Newton's law and see how can that be demonstrated using a basketball. When you dribble and you apply force to push the ball down, what is the reaction, right? So this approach where you don't necessarily have boundaries between what should be done in the classroom vis-a-vis what needs to be done on the playground is another approach that we would be looking to call out. There are a few other things, but I want to pause and ensure that I also hear from the other members of this panel. Thanks, Daksh.
Thank you so much, Krish. An amazing start to the discussion. जैसा कि हमें आपसे expected भी था, you actually brought the classroom to the playground. So to summarize what all you said, kids are coming from a mental state of blockade to again coming back to the real world, जो पूरी तरह से वापस खुल जाएगा. Just yesterday we had one of the school leaders who shared कि Karnataka में they've just opened the schools and the attendance of the first day of the school for 9 to 12 class was only 6%. And the whole crowd was confused because before the lockdown, we knew that once we're in the school, we have to assemble for the assembly, then go to our classrooms. But with social distancing in, nobody knew where to go. So everybody was confused within the campus what to do next. That's the biggest challenge right now. So there could be school closures, yes, from time to time, enhanced curriculum with social distancing, playing sports online, gamified scorecards, talent identification digitally, home being the new playground, linear motion in the playground, and finally Newton playing the basketball. So that's Krish Iyengar. Thank you so much, Krish, for this amazing start to the discussion. Some amazing ideas for the new session though. कि थोड़ा सा और sports आप science में मिला दीजिए. So let me invite the next speaker for today. He's somebody who'll add a perspective of design and higher education into the discussion. A very warm welcome, Mr. Ankit Garg, Chief Marketing Officer from World University of Design, Sonipat, Haryana. Ankit ji, over to you for the next 3 minutes. A very warm welcome.
Thank you, Daksh. Good morning, everyone. So I'm representing World University of Design, which is India's first and only university totally dedicated to design education, creative education. So now, as we all are out of our comfort zones, right? From many years, we all were into a dilemma that how to introduce online education into our campuses, and COVID pushed us out of our comfort zones. And the major thing which from design perspective, I would say, is to engage students in the campus. And maybe, students have been working on conceptual ideas a lot from last many months. From last 6 to 7 months, they have been working on conceptual ideas, but they have been not able to work with the materials, with their classmates, being in teams at the campus. So our idea at WUD would be to engage them in teamwork, and then also to make them work on projects with the actual materials and develop certain products and work on services in collaboration with their team members at the campus. As far as from the perspective of teachers or the faculty members, I would say that there is a huge need to train the faculty right now, as in the technologies needs to be introduced, new technologies will be introduced in the coming times. Plus, there would be a new hybrid learning model, which will be there in the curriculum, which will be used in the curriculum. So for this particular hybrid model, it is very important for them, for the faculties, to seamlessly switch between the online and offline mode. And they should also be given, kind of freedom to develop curriculum in a way wherein they can actually choose that which particular concepts they can teach online and what is to be done offline. So that kind of liberty should be given to all the faculties while designing the curriculum and the lecture plans. Plus, I would say that this is from the perspective of the teachers, but from the students' perspective again, I would say that the most important thing would be to coming back to campus and engage in various social activities, keeping in mind all the necessary precautions in mind. And we have actually prepared our campus accordingly. All the necessary arrangements has been made. This is it from my side right now, Daksh. We can go ahead.
Thank you so much, Ankit ji. To summarize what you said, online learning अपना रास्ता उसने force into कर लिया education में. Concepts बहुत अच्छे से इतने समय से बात हो रही है क्योंकि online वही हो सकता था 30 मिनट के अंदर. उससे ज़्यादा teachers भी कुछ नहीं कर सकते थे. तो conceptually सब जने strong हो गए, लेकिन execution अभी दूर ही रह गया सबसे, क्योंकि आपस में मिल नहीं पा रहे हैं. Hybrid learning has come in. Faculty की liberty एक नया challenge भी कह सकते हैं और एक नई opportunity भी कह सकते हैं, क्योंकि अब ये critical हो गई. अभी तक ये इतनी critical नहीं थी क्योंकि curriculum सब कुछ drive कर लेता था. बट अब सारी क्लासरूम्स इतनी डायनेमिक हैं कि एक वो करिकुलम उतना काम कर नहीं पाता है. सो नाउ द लिबर्टी ऑफ द फैकल्टी बिकम्स क्रिटिकल. सो थैंक यू सो मच, अंकित जी. लेट मी नाउ इनवाइट द नेक्स्ट स्पीकर who has a very different kind of experience that he brings to the table. A very warm welcome to Mr. Anish Baheti, founder, Train My Brain. So Anish ji, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute your audio, and a very warm welcome.
Thank you. Thanks a lot once again. It's very nice to catch up with the platform, and I'm slightly late. I'm really sorry for that. So just to introduce, it's a very good topic, and I just have few points which I'm going to add to what I think, what are the critical things which should be included or which should be slightly refined in the education system. So basically, just to give a brief background, I run two sorts of businesses. One is on the lines of helping people find their purpose in life. So it is on the lines of ikigai, which is a Japanese term. So, your reason for being, why do you wake up in the morning? What drives you? So the entire program, the entire structure is all about helping people find their ikigai or purpose and then slowly create a business around it. So I just recently launched a program called as Purpose to Product, and that is all Train My Brain. That's the entire, if I have to say, that's the crux of what I do at Train My Brain. And the other thing which I do is, being a chartered accountant, I have done few sorts of programs, and I've developed certain programs and certain products to make accounting really, really playful. So I'm going to take I was just listening to Krish before, and I'm going to take that cue word when he said playful, making it playful. Because when you make something playful, it connects with that person or that individual or that student so nicely. If you keep it in a theory sort of a mode, it becomes very dull, very boring. If you make it playful, keep it in short and simple, bite sort of education, it becomes really interesting for the learner. So playfulness is something which I am going to take from what Krish mentioned. And from Ankit, I was actually going through their website as well. It looks really good. One thing which I really liked about is the internationalization of the program. Building creativity, because design is all about creativity. So obviously, creativity, playfulness, and experiential learning. So as I said before, if you make them play, if you make them go through an experience, they are going to learn it very, very quickly. They are going to enjoy it. You, as a trainer, as a teacher, as a faculty, you are also going to enjoy, because the learners are learning it. I usually keep my sessions very, very simple. So again, keeping it insanely simple. If you make it complicated, if you make it really, you just put a lot of jargons into your teaching methodology, it's just going to, they are just going to switch off their learning, side of the brain. So it's good that you keep it simple. It's good that you keep it on an experiential level, and keep it playful. So that's how I would introduce, and that's how I would, kickstart my sort of, So thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Anish ji. आपने बातचीत शुरू करी Ikigai से, the reason why you get up every day in the morning, एक Japanese concept, and you finally came to playfulness. इंडियन माइथोलॉजी और जापानीज माइथोलॉजी में यही थोड़ा सा फर्क हो जाता है. जापानीज माइथोलॉजी कर्म को सबसे बड़ा फोकस देती है इकिगाई के अंदर, कि आप जो करेंगे, या व्हाई डू यू गेट अप इन द मॉर्निंग. एंड व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट इंडियन माइथोलॉजी, वी टॉक अबाउट एवरीथिंग एज अ लीला, नॉट इवन एज अ गेम. गेम का भी एक आउटकम होता है, जीतना या हारना. लीला का कोई आउटकम नहीं होता. इट्स अ ड्रामा जो आपको बस करना है, यू हैव टू एंजॉय इट. सो ये दो फिलोसफीज हैं जो इंडिया को पुराने समय से नए समय में ट्रांजिशन कर रही हैं, या दोनों साथ में चल रही हैं. दिस इज समथिंग दैट्स चैलेंजिंग, और ये एजुकेशन सेक्टर में बहुत ज्यादा इंपैक्ट करता है, बिकॉज एज इज द बिलीफ, दैट्स द वे द बिहेवियर इज. तो बिलीव और बिहेवियर एकदम अगल बगल चलते हैं. So this impacts education a lot. So thank you so much, Anish ji, for adding this perspective to the discussion. Let me invite now the next speaker, Ms. Kavita Jain, Director MDN Edify Education from Hyderabad, Telangana. Kavita ji, over to you for the next 3 minutes. A very warm welcome.
Thank you so much, Daksh. You mentioned something at the start of the, this talk about restarting education. That's really a different topic. Let me begin with restarting schools, and then maybe we can talk about restarting education if there is more time during the session. Looking at restarting schools, I think schools will have to look at it from a multifaceted approach. First, to begin with, is the budgeting of schools, taking into account the revised cost of safety and hygiene, replanning their calendars, replanning infrastructure. So optimum utilization of resources, manpower hiring and training. I think all this will play a big role in determining how schools will operate in the forthcoming year. In terms of academic planning, I think creating a bridge course to bridge the learning gap that was created, I wouldn't say learning did not happen, but certainly learning at par with the learning outcomes that we would have wanted to achieve may not have happened. So having a mechanism to assess what is the learning achieved, what is the gap that needs to be bridged before we even rush into the next year's curriculum will become essential to ensure that the next year's curriculum runs smoothly. One thing that is most certain about schools restarting is uncertainty. We don't know what's going to happen. I think having a dynamic calendar, having a dynamic strategy to execute that calendar will become essential for schools to make it a successful academic year. A lot of parent communication, because as much as we are worried as educators, parents are doubly worried. It's their child. There's a lot of personal stake involved for them. So parent communication, assurance to parents, involving them in planning the school reopening will also go a long way in making this journey smooth for students, for schools, for the whole community at large. And the last thing I think is a little more clarity from the government, either absolute clarity or absolute freedom, not an ambiguous clarity where you say, oh, okay, open schools, but we don't want to take the responsibility. Let parents send if they want to send. We did a poll of all our schools. We have about 70 plus K-12 schools and about 200 plus preschools across the country. You'd be amazed that only 20% parents in the under 8 subgrade 8 segment are willing to send their kids to school without a vaccine. And even from 9 to 12, it's only 42% parents who are willing to send the kids. Even after the vaccine comes, schools can't let down their guard because the vaccine does not have 100% efficacy. Also, the vaccine does not say that you will not be infected. It only says that, okay, if you are infected, you won't get worsened with the virus. So schools can't let their guards down even with the vaccine coming up. So I think a little more clear guidelines from the government, not just for the schools, but for the whole community. It's sad that everything else is opened in India except schools. Theaters, pubs, malls, gyms, shopping complexes, you name it, everything is open except schools. I mean, really, is that our last priority? Something that we need to think as a country. And it's sad, but yeah.
थैंक यू सो मच कविता जी. ये बात सच है कि सब कुछ खुल गया है लेकिन स्कूल्स नहीं खुले. एजुकेशन जो सबसे पहली प्रायोरिटी होनी चाहिए वो अभी तक नहीं है. टू समराइज व्हाट यू सेड, रीस्टार्टिंग एजुकेशन या रीस्टार्टिंग स्कूल्स, जो हमने टॉपिक दिया था उसका कारण यही था कि इसमें थोड़ी सी एम्बिग्यूटी बनी रहे ताकि एजुकेशन को हम एक्चुअली कंसेप्चुअली रीविजिट कर पाए. हमें सबसे बड़ा मौका जो कोविड ने दिया वो यही दिया, यू कैन एक्चुअली क्वेश्चन योर रूट्स वंस अगेन कि व्हाट हैज टू बी डन, क्वेश्चनिंग द ऑब्जेक्टिव, क्वेश्चनिंग द व्हाई अगेन. सब स्कूल्स के लिए इंपॉर्टेंट होगा बजटिंग, अपना रिसोर्स प्लानिंग, ब्रिजिंग द लर्निंग गैप जो इतने समय में आ गया. एंड वन थिंग दैट्स फॉर श्योर कि अनसर्टेनिटी 2021 में सर्टन है. देयर इज नो अनसर्टेनिटी की अनसर्टेनिटी सर्टन रहेगी ही रहेगी. एंड देन स्कूल कैलेंडर विल बी द सीक्रेट टेक्स्ट. आपके लिए अगले 1 साल की भगवत गीता वही है. एंड वैक्सीन इज नॉट अ डेफिनेट सॉल्यूशन, दैट्स फॉर श्योर, क्योंकि उसके बाद भी आप अपना गार्ड डाउन नहीं कर सकते, अपनी तैयारियां कम नहीं कर सकते, बिकॉज एट द मोमेंट नोबडी इज रेडी टू टेक द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. और अगर स्कूल लेगा तो that's too much of a responsibility on a small institution. So thank you so much Kavita ji. Let me now invite somebody who actually runs a school कि operations में और execution में किस तरीके के झगड़े अब पैदा होंगे या किस तरीके का perspective do school leaders have on this whole discussion. A very warm welcome to Dr. Seema Negi, Principal Sanjeevani World School from Mumbai, Maharashtra. Seema ma'am, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute your audio and a very warm welcome.
Good morning. So it's wonderful listening to all the empowered speakers. So my perspective is again very, very simple. And I think all the empowered speakers have already spoken about it. It is more about adapting. We have already adapted, but now we have to become like a river that has to make its way on its own, because stopping is not the solution and we cannot just rely on plan A. So our plan B, C, D, Z, everything needs to be ready. And I think this pandemic has made us ready, not as educators, but as learners also, our children are ready. So my main focus will be towards ICT proficiencies. We need to develop that. The one who was still under the impression that, okay, things will be back to normal, it will still take time. So a hybrid module wherein each and every learner is catered. So we just don't have to go for technology, but do not have to forget the social emotional quotient. Social emotional quotient will play a major role for us. So I put it this way: we need to have thinking head, we need to have dancing, doing hands, we need to have feeling heart, but at the same time we need to have dancing feet also. And with dancing feet we will have to integrate a lot of sports and gamification virtually, because that is one area our children are missing out a lot. And higher order thinking will become a regular part of whatever we do every day, because our children children have started thinking out of the box. I think no box lies for us, though we are in the cubicle right now, a flat screen, which is rectangle or square, but we are thinking beyond that. So to put it or to conclude in a very simplistic manner is we need to look beyond what is there, because looking beyond has brought us where we are today. We did not restrict ourselves. We need to look around, and that is one thing you are doing. You are looking around and collaborating with the best of educators from everywhere. So we are looking around and we are collaborating with the best of schools. So from our mainland of excellence, we have gone to various other islands also, because we have to collaborate. So gone are the days that we are the best. We have to collaborate. That's the new and much more important norm than anything else. Next is we need to make our children introspective and reflective learner, because technology has given them everything. But yes, we need to train them for evidence-based thinking, because whatever is available on Google is not always right. So they need to know the difference between real and real. Last but not the least, they need to, in fact, each one of us needs to think deep that what is next. Because by the time we finish with one strategy, we come to know that, okay, we have to change everything. So yes, plan A is not everything. There are 26 letters in English alphabet. So we have to be ready with that and keep on moving, move with the flow. And that is what is needed. That's all from my side. And that's what we are doing in school.
Thank you so much, Seema ma'am. To summarize, you've already adapted. सभी जने adapt कर गए अब तक तो virtual screens में सब इन डब्बों में बहुत खुश हैं. The complete alphabets of planning, A से Z तक plans बना लीजिए. कब कौन सा काम में आएगा पता नहीं है. ICT proficiency is normal, not coming soon. Virtual physical activity, जिससे आज का discussion शुरू हुआ, क्रिश ने उसी पे बात की, because physical activity बहुत ज़्यादा मिस हो गई. एक चीज जो सभी जनों को समझ में आ रही है कि बच्चों के लिए लर्निंग से ज्यादा जो बड़ा नुकसान हुआ वो हुआ of a safe space. Kids lost that safe space की जहां पे वो जाके अपने हम उम्रों से बात कर सकते थे, अपनी डिस्कशंस कर सकते थे और अलग तरीके के सब्जेक्ट्स पे बातचीत कर सकते थे. Evidence based thinking. So thank you so much, Seema ma'am. Let me now invite the next speaker, Dr. Nisha Sharma, Principal, Omkar Residential School from Bhavnagar, Gujarat. So Nisha ma'am, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute your audio and a very warm welcome.
New Year greetings to each and every one of you on this panel. And when we talk about restarting education, I would like to focus on restarting the interest of a child, which almost children have lost in these days. Now, this pandemic have taught us a lot. But along with that, though we were teaching them virtually, children have definitely, they have gone through a lot of loss of learning. Now we have to cope up with this loss of learning. We were mentally satisfied that, okay, we have taught them, we have completed this part of the syllabus. But actually, when we see, then there was a lot of digital divide among these students. Mine is a residential school, and children who are living in the interior part of the different places, there were so many of digital issues going on, and we were highly worried that some of them are learning well, some of them have lost their track. So now when they will be coming to these schools, at that time we have to see towards that these children, they all have to brought back to the same platform now. So this digital divide has to be overcome. Now in overcoming this digital divide, as many of other panelists have also told, that we have to definitely see to the social and the emotional skills of the children. We have to see them as an individual learner. Lot of, I think, freedom we have to give them for learning. Learning freedom has to be given. Basket of options have to be put in front of them. Now, different kind of learnings are appropriate for different learners. So that kind of thing, we don't have to think in one stream. Stringent rules which we were applying earlier in schools, now we have to we have to lower ourselves. Those stringent rules will not work now. So we have to understand emotionally, and a lot of counseling sessions we have to go through, because every child, you don't know 9 months at home what they have done in person. So we have to deal them in person, individual learners, individual needs, and overall this things will become very important. For this, what I planned for my school was a rehabilitation period per day when they will be coming to the school. Because this pandemic, you don't know what has happened. So this rehabilitation period daily, I think 30-40 minutes will bring some change. And it will like bridge courses required. Along with that, bridging again to the normal education is also required. And
thank you so much, Nisha ma'am. The first slot was over. To summarize what you said, restarting children's interest, क्योंकि बच्चे पे वापस फोकस करना होगा. डिजिटल डिवाइड ने लर्निंग को बहुत जगहों पर काफी हद तक बार्ड किया. ब्रिंगिंग ऑल चिल्ड्रन टू द सेम पेज, सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज यही हो रहा है जब स्कूल खुल भी रहे हैं, जैसे कर्नाटका में, आसाम में, तो बच्चे स्कूल तो आ जा रहे हैं, बट वो माइंडसेट अलग ही लेके आ रहे हैं. अब वो पहले वाले बच्चे नहीं हैं जिन पे डिसिप्लिन काम कर जाए, क्योंकि इतने समय में उनकी बेंचमार्किंग भी चेंज हो गई है. तो वो मेंटल सेट पूरी तरह से बदल गया है. इंडिविजुअल लर्नर, बास्केट ऑफ लर्निंग ऑप्शंस. अब स्कूल्स को क्या है, 5 स्टार्स के बफे देने पड़ेंगे पढ़ाने में, कि सुबह जब आपको बफे मिले तो इतने ऑप्शंस हो कि किसी को कुछ ना कुछ तो पसंद आ ही जाए. अब वो एक ब्रेकफास्ट वाला काम नहीं चलेगा. द स्कूल्स हैव टू नाउ बिल्ड कैपेबिलिटीज व्हिच आर बियॉन्ड देयर ओन कैपेबिलिटीज एंड रिसोर्सेज. स्कूल्स अब केवल एक सर्टिफिकेशन एजेंसी रह जाएंगे क्या? दिस इज जस्ट वन क्वेश्चन दैट आई एम पुटिंग, एन ओपिनियन. इस पे आगे आप लोग भी कुछ कमेंट्स कर सकते हैं. लेट मी नाउ इनवाइट द नेक्स्ट स्पीकर, डॉक्टर विवेक नानोटी, प्रिंसिपल, प्रियदर्शनी इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग एंड टेक्नोलॉजी, नागपुर, महाराष्ट्र. आप इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज के प्रिंसिपल हैं. इंजीनियरिंग अभी तक एक बहुत लुक्रेटिव कोर्स था, अब आने वाले समय में उसका क्या होने वाला है, और उससे एस्पिरेशन जुड़ी रहेगी या नहीं रहेगी, और स्कूल्स इसे अब कैसे व्यू करेंगे? ओवर टू विवेक जी फॉर द नेक्स्ट 3 minutes. A very warm welcome.
Thank you so much, Daksh. Very good morning and happy new year to all my fellow panelists. Daksh, very rightly pointed out by you, is like, are we ready? You know, we engineering colleges, our entire industry world is looking after or looking forward for 4th generation of industry. 4th generation is artificial intelligence, cloud computing, 3D printing, 5G networks are coming on. इतने सारे challenges बड़े-बड़े आ रहे हैं. So education has to take a quantum jump to 4th generation education. And what is that 4th generation education? It is about innovation and creativity. Unless you inculcate innovation among the students, the very learning should trigger the inquisitiveness and the curiosity among the students, which can lead to create something of their own. It is not about cut, copy, paste. Even new education policy is very much stressing on creativity, very much stressing upon following their own passion. If this is the very right time. I call this digital, it is disaster driven digitalization. We are into digitalization, but it is disaster driven. अचानक हम पे आ गिरा है, लेकिन इसका बहुत फायदा होगा. Unlike other foreign countries and foreign universities, we will find that our students are now adaptable to this platform, and let us now make them habitual to understand the use of internationalization of their education. Make them learn to understand the YouTubes, various lectures available, various other international platforms. I will also suggest, because we were very worried about learning by doing. Learning by doing nahi ho raha hai. So virtual laboratories, I will suggest, they are free of cost. And you can actually work there without a zero investment. And these virtual laboratories can actually give the feel of, current बढ़ रहा है, light आ रही है, जल रही है, bulb जल रहा है, सब कुछ होता है उसमें, and it is on the screens. So I will appeal that even students can go for these virtual laboratories wherein students will have that complete feel. It is about knowledge, about degrees. Degree se kaam nahi ho raha. All top companies like Google and Apple and IBM, they are looking for knowledge. The 3rd generation of education was about knowledge, and 4th is about innovation. We need to tell them, students, that yes, what you can follow is their passion. Schools need to create a space where they can learn beyond syllabus, whether they can learn what they love to do, whether they can express that मेरे को तो सर डायमंड बुटीक डालना है, मेरे को तो सर स्पोर्ट्स में जाना है, और मेरे को तो ये सब पसंद ही नहीं, मेरे को तो अमेरिकन हिस्ट्री पसंद है. Something like that. And I love Italian cuisine. Something like that का स्पेस क्रिएट करना बहुत जरूरी है, क्योंकि ओपननेस एजुकेशन में आ चुका है. सो फॉलोइंग नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी 2020, अमेजिंग बाय डॉक्टर कस्तूरी रंगन who has drafted it, we need to follow the new norms. और इसी न्यू जनरेशन का बहाना लेकर, इस न्यू पैंडेमिक का बहाना, इस ब्लेसिंग इन डिस्गाइज कंसीडर करके, we should look forward for online learnings, virtual laboratories, education 4th generation, which will create creativity, curiosity, and leading to innovations, is the expectation for the entire society as well as industry. That is what I understand. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vivek. हम लोगों ने ब्लब के प्लेटफॉर्म को इस तरीके से बनाया है कि हमेशा जब भी आप बोलते हैं तो बोलने में वो मैराथन हो जाता है कि सब लोग लंबी लंबी रेस बोलते हैं। हम लोगों ने इसको स्प्रिंट बनाया है कि आपके पास 3 मिनट है, अब आप 3 मिनट में बेस्ट फुट फॉरवर्ड रख दीजिए। तो इससे बहुत बड़ा एक जो फायदा मिला पूरे प्लेटफॉर्म को ये था कि सबके पास जो बेस्ट सेट था वो एकदम से आप सबके पास आ जाता है और आइडिया शेयरिंग क्विक हो जाती है। अभी तक हम लोग ये कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि विद इन द नेक्स्ट सम मंथ्स we at least create an idea repository of 100 feasible scalable ideas in education, और वो ऐसे जो कि कहीं भी beyond geographies implement किए जा सकें। So whatever you are giving, everything is getting documented। तो ऐसा हो सकता है कि आपका कोई ना कोई आइडिया फाइनल व्हाइट पेपर में जगह पा जाए। So thank you so much डॉक्टर विवेक नानोटी। आपने 4th जनरेशन की बात करी जहां पे अब फाइनली क्यूरियोसिटी पे सारी चीज आ गई है, बिकॉज एआई एक ही काम नहीं कर सकता जो मशीन लर्निंग भी नहीं कर सकती, कि अगर कोई फर्स्ट टाइम प्रॉब्लम एनकाउंटर करती है ये दोनों चीजें तो ये उसको सॉल्व नहीं कर सकती। दे ऑलवेज नीड अ पास्ट ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड टू सॉल्व अ प्रॉब्लम, और ह्यूमंस के पास यही एक कैपेबिलिटी है जो केवल इन्हीं के पास है, जो किसी के पास नहीं है। एकदम नया भी कोई प्रॉब्लम आ जाएगा तो आप उसे सॉल्व कर लेंगे। सो थैंक यू सो मच विवेक जी। लेट मी नाउ इनवाइट द नेक्स्ट स्पीकर, डॉक्टर बलजीत कौर सेठी, प्रिंसिपल, Wisdom Global School from Meerut, Uttar Pradesh. Baljeet ma'am, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute your audio and a very warm welcome.
Hi, good morning, Daksh. Good morning, everyone. First of all, I'm thankful to the Blackboard magazine and this platform, because earlier also I have been speaking twice and thrice on this platform, and it has, really given us a lot of chance to explore, to find out and share our ideas as well. Now, since the time is less, so again, as you all have shared, I would say, no doubt, if we talk about SWOT of this COVID time, so there have been some opportunities and some threats to the schools. So the opportunities have been that our teachers have got more familiar with the digital resources. And I think that's one of the best things that has happened in this time, and which we can utilize for the future. Because the teachers who are not very tech savvy and not very familiar with the digital resources, I think in this entire year, the teachers have had lots and lots of digital resources with them now, because a complete repository of resources has been developed in every school, what I think is. And in the next session, I think teachers will be very comfortable now taking these digital tools, and taking up the curriculum would be more easier for the teachers, as if, like I talk about the Meerut city, we have lots of unexpected holidays sometimes, might be due to weather or any other conditions. So teachers are usually not able to cover up the syllabus also in time. But now one concept that we can take up very easily is, fine, if the students are not in the school, why not classes at home? Why not online classes? And already the resources are there with the teachers, with the students. So that pressure of completion of syllabus, I think that is no more now. Teachers have ample of time, ample of periods to take up their syllabus at a normal pace. So when they have ample of time, they can implement the new strategies very easily, giving space to the students to explore, to find out. That is what is required, because whenever we used to talk about innovation or taking the students to the next level of Bloom's taxonomy, not only knowledge but understanding, that has to happen. The evaluation, the analysis of concept, which is very, very important. So one particular point the teachers always put forward was time. We don't have time. We have to cover the syllabus. We have to finish the concepts. But I think now they have ample of time. Another concept that we can take up is, once long back, I attended a workshop where there was a Chinese colleague, and he shared one very great idea, like homework in class and classwork at home. At that time, we were not very clear with what he tried to mention. But now I think it is a very good strategy that can happen, because teachers have the digital resources. So if they share the resource, what has to be taught next day in the class, if that is shared in advance with the students, the child can go through it at home, and next day when he comes, I think he'll be okay with about 50% of what the teacher is planning to teach. So the learning object.
Thank you so much Baljeet ma'am. To summarize, digital repository सबके पास आ गई है। Unexpected holidays जो हैं वो अब काफी कुछ एक्सपेक्टेड ट्रैजेक्टरी में आ जाएंगे, क्योंकि क्लासेस अब बंद नहीं होंगी। तो रेनी डे वाला हॉलीडे अब खत्म हो गया स्कूल्स में हमेशा के लिए। आप हमेशा ऑनलाइन पढ़ सकते हैं। होमवर्क इन द क्लास एंड क्लास वर्क एट होम, एजुकेशन अब पूरी तरह से इन्वर्ट हो रही है और हम लोग भी ये देख रहे हैं क्लास में लाइफ स्किल्स ज्यादा सिखाई जा रही हैं, जो बच्चे घर पर सीख रहे होते थे अब वो स्कूल में सीख रहे हैं, और स्कूल वाली चीजें उन्हें घर पे सीखनी है क्योंकि एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन घर पे होना होगा। एंड मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट, या एक आइडिया जो हम लोगों को पहले भी बहुत जगह से आया, जो बहुत स्कूल्स ने इंप्लीमेंट भी किया, ट्राई क्रिएटिंग अ ट्रेलर ऑफ योर क्लास। बच्चों को सुबह सुबह एक टीजर भेज दीजिए, भले ही व्हाट्सएप पे, भले ही किसी पे, कि दे गेट इंटरेस्टेड एंड एटलीस्ट इंक्विजिटिव अबाउट कि आप क्या पढ़ाने वाले हैं। वो मूवी का ट्रेलर होता है, ऐसा आप छोटा सा एक ट्रेलर अपने लेसन का बना दीजिए कि जब वो आपकी क्लास में आए तो ही इज ऑलरेडी एक्सपेक्टिंग समथिंग, सम क्वेश्चंस विद हिम, सो दैट वो पूरा एंगेजमेंट बहुत ज्यादा एंटरटेनिंग हो जाएगा। So thank you so much, Baljit ma'am. Let me now invite the next speaker, Miss Neeti Tripathi, Vice Principal, Saida International School from Bangladesh. Neeti ma'am, over to you for the next 3 minutes. A very warm welcome to the Blub World Global Education Meet.
Thank you, Mr. Daksh. Okay, so I was listening to all of you, and now I'm going to talk. And basically, I'm in Bangladesh now, and the schools are not yet started in Bangladesh. And recently, 2-3 days before, Prime Minister Mrs. Hasina said that we are not going to open the school till situation becomes normal. We don't know when the situation will become normal. So whatever bacha kucha hope we had that in next 2-3 months probably schools will be, opening and kids are coming back to the classrooms, that also is gone. So what we have to do now, see what we are talking about online education and all that. Last 9 months, of course, we are offering online classes here. So now the next challenge for us is to take this online education to the next level. And since I'm in a school, trust me, my students of nursery, KG have all become so expert using Google Classroom, Zoom, all that. So now we have to think what next, because still classes are shut. So we have to keep creating the interest so that kids are still, they enjoying their education. So what we are thinking now in our school to going to the next level is like introducing QR codes in the learning. What we recently came across about QR codes. These are quick response code. I know we all know that we can scan the QR codes using our mobile devices. So those are used in education also. So we are, training our teachers to create QR codes, and then they give tasks to the students using those QR codes. So students have to scan them, and, they get interested, like this is something new. And imagine, we are trying to have these kind of scenario, like suppose a child needs to write a book review. So instead of writing a typical book review, the child is creating a QR code, and when someone scans it, the child actually talks about it. It takes them to some other link and all that. So we are training our teachers for that. Then we are thinking of going for the cloud-based learning also, because we face lot of problems, device issue, network issue, this, that. So our next step is to overcome all these issues. So we are thinking of introducing cloud-based learning in our school, so that online learning is, uninterrupted, and, we can, even the student who are in the remote areas can make use of these things. Then third thing, we started, we thought of, like, everybody's talking about no physical activity, kids are not coming to the school. So we have started weekly sports challenges in our school, where kids, they on their home, they come up with certain sports challenges. In 1 minute, these many dribblings, these many runs, these many, using different kind of sports equipment. They come up with certain challenges and they upload it on our Facebook page, and then we ask the other kids to use the same kind of challenges and get inspired by that. Then the fourth thing, in the beginning, Mr. Daksh said, how do you see this year 2021? I see this, first thing I want to see year 2021 as that kids coming back to the classroom, hopefully. And the second thing which we see, the year 2021, there are two main things going to happen. The first thing will be the shift of responsibility. So far, the teaching and learning of the student was the responsibility of the school, but this COVID pandemic has made a very good bonding between the school and...
Thank you so much, Neeti ma'am. To summarize what you said, सबसे पहला स्कूल्स बांग्लादेश में भी नहीं खुल रहे हैं, तो वहां पे एक बहुत बड़ा नया एक होपलेसनेस की स्थिति है एजुकेशन सेक्टर में कि भाई कब खुलेंगे. स्टूडेंट्स आर नाउ प्रोफिशिएंट इन टेक्नोलॉजी प्लेटफॉर्म्स. ये बात हकीकत है, बच्चे आपकी क्लास चालू कर लेते हैं, वो माइनक्राफ्ट खेल रहे हैं, यूट्यूब देख रहे हैं, नहीं जानते आप. सो उनको एंगेज रखना अलग चैलेंज है. उसके लिए आपका सोल्यूशन बड़ा अच्छा है, क्रिएटिंग QR कोड्स फॉर एवरीथिंग. and for even exciting students की नई तरीके की टेक्नोलॉजी, अब इसको इस्तेमाल कीजिए थोड़े दिन जब तक इससे बोर ना हो जाए. For book reviews, sending in links, and weekly sports challenges at home. This is something that Krish might also be doing in India. So कि आप कुछ एक अलग चीजें ट्राई करें at home, and सबकी उम्मीद एक ही है कि finally बच्चे क्लासेस में वापस आ जाएं और schools resume कर जाएं. So thank you so much, Neeti ji. Let me now invite the next speaker, Dr. Hina Rak, Principal, Global India International School from Abu Dhabi, UAE. Hina ma'am, a very warm welcome to the platform. The next 3 minutes are yours. Please start your video, and we are waiting for you. Please.
Namaskar. Thank you, Daksh. Thank you, Blab. And traditionally, wonderful speakers I had. So traditionally, education is amongst the last industry to change. And time has come to graduate to the next orbit. Else the new generation unicorns like Byju's and Vedantu's will definitely eat the educational institutions away. Now, fortunately and thankfully, the force required to migrate into the next orbit has come from the COVID pandemic, as my one of the esteemed colleagues said, disaster crisis. So we were almost forced to adopt online education in record short time, and we have made it. Our school achieved the distinction to navigate through transition and is recognized as a lead school in the journey by Abu Dhabi Council of Education and Knowledge. The experience shapes my views on the agenda of restarting education, and as rightly put it, restarting schools, or our educators have continuously strived to improve delivery. So we will have a town hall meeting to discuss pedagogical innovations, assessment techniques with a view to reach a common understanding of the practices. What we wish to do is to integrate IT team with educators team. Our endeavor would have IT professionals update knowledge base of educators as far as the availability of emerging technologies and its possible application in the field of education and parents' engagement. We have an aspirational goal to design an app to track holistic development of each child on AR and AI-based analytics, so that we move in the direction of customizing input of each child. Like most of us have worked very hard to excel in at least one skill in the last few months. For example, I have personally, like myself, done the audit system, including quality system. Now I am a certified ISO lead auditor. So having said that, let me share my views on restarting education. In reality, Abu Dhabi has not seen any discontinuity of education. Our regulatory body like Abu Dhabi ADEC has been extremely proactive in ensuring delivery of high quality education to students across the Emirates. So in that sense, there is no restarting challenge for us. But I believe that to restart education, we have to do three things. The educational institutions will have to definitely embrace technology, become tech savvy, understand evolving technologies and explore its implication in the field of education. Second is apply management concepts of collaboration, communication, and confidence building with stakeholders. And finally, decode the DNA of value creation for its ultimate customer, and that is the student. We have to make education interesting, flexible, and personalized, like how it was in Gurukula, and now it is Google. So I call it a journey of from Gurukula to Google. So let's realize that we have the biggest opportunity now on hand to make the difference, be relevant, and lead the inevitable change that's coming through. Best wishes. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hina ma'am. एक चीज जान के बहुत अच्छा लगा that Abu Dhabi never, interrupted education या interrupted learning. बहुत effort लिया गया even by the government authorities there to continue learning. Education typically सबसे last industry होती है हर जगह पे change होने के लिए, क्योंकि teachers दुनिया भर में एक जैसे ही हैं, भले वो US हो, UK हो, India हो, and इसलिए इस industry को थोड़ा सा हिलाना डुलाना मुश्किल हो जाता है. It typically becomes like an Indian elephant, जहाँ वो move नहीं करता आसानी से. And EdTech will eat away education institutions. ये बात बहुत ज़्यादा हद तक अभी सच हो रही है. But what we think is, even if it eats away, there's something new that's in place. Because school as a physical institution will add a lot of new edge to it. एंड आपने एक जो अपना एस्पिरेशनल गोल बताया वो बहुत ही अच्छा है, एंड आई थिंक वो काफी लोग उस पर काम करना चाहेंगे. एन ऐप टू ट्रैक होलिस्टिक डेवलपमेंट. हम लोगों ने एकेडमिक डेवलपमेंट के लिए तो ट्रैकिंग बना ली, बहुत सारी चीजों के लिए बना ली, लेकिन होलिस्टिक डेवलपमेंट अभी तक एक चैलेंज है. Auditing and education institutions to be tech savvy and applying management concepts to schools. अब हमें ये बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट हो गया, पहले नहीं था क्योंकि हम अभी अलग अलग चीजें सिखा रहे थे बच्चों को. सॉरी, बट नाउ मैनेजमेंट कॉन्सेप्ट्स हैव बिकम क्रिटिकल टू अ स्कूल, बिकॉज एक स्कूल अब बहुत सारी इंडस्ट्रीज के साथ मिलके काम कर रहा है. एंड व्हेन इंडस्ट्रीज कम्स इन, इतनी सारी अलग अलग वेरिड इंटरेस्ट के साथ उन्हें अलाइन करने के लिए थोड़ा सा टिपिकल मैनेजर चाहिए होता है. सो थैंक यू सो मच, ma'am, for adding this perspective. Let me now invite the next speaker for today, Mr. Ashish Kumar Panda, Principal HSM Senior Secondary School from Kashipur, Uttar Pradesh. Ashish ji, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute your audio and a very warm welcome.
Sorry, it's not good morning. I just very wonderful audience and speaker. So it's very glad to hear all of them. But I just want to speak 2-3 points. First point regarding the restarting of the school. So when we restart the school, my point of talk is informations. Our most of education system is information based. Our syllabus supposed to be shift from information based to knowledge based. So information based means GK. We are focusing more about the GK learning and all these informations. Google is information based. So whatever may be the things, YouTube and all these things are available, as many of speakers said about that, things are available with us, digital resources. ये सारे हमारे पास मौजूद हैं ऑलरेडी हमारे पास जो चीजें. सो वो सारे इंफॉर्मेशन बेस्ड है, जहां पर हम एक क्लिक करते हैं सारे चीज अवेलेबल हो जाता है, इंफॉर्मेशन बेस्ड होता है. हमारे स्कूल में दुर्भाग्यवश क्या होता है, हम सारे चीज पढ़ाते हैं, स्कूल में जो चलता है वो सारे इंफॉर्मेशन बेस्ड ही चलता है. There is nothing about the knowledge based. Knowledge based होता है जैसे आयंगर सर बोले या फिर अंकित सर बोले, प्रोजेक्ट करना, बच्चों के साथ स्पोर्ट्स में इन्वॉल्व करना, क्रिएटिविटी डेवलप करना, जैसे विवेक सर बोले इनोवेशन एंड क्रिएटिविटी को डेवलप करना. ये सारे चीजों के ऊपर हमारा फोकस नहीं है. इट्स ए गुड अपॉर्चुनिटी टू ऑल ऑफ अस that this disaster, and we are the educator and we have a power to paradigm shifting from disaster to opportunity, and we all are able to do this one. And that is we have to change our system, means syllabus. We have to ruin our syllabus. From my suggestion is that, and what I am going to do it, 1 to 8th class syllabus supposed to be removed, and we have to focus on the skill based learning. We are not, it's not working for the half an hour or one day. It's not working for the breeze course or rehabilitation class. Is not going to work for.
Thank you so much, Ashish ji. Information से knowledge और knowledge से skill, यही कोशिश सब जने कर रहे हैं. Even the NEP is doing that. हम लोग हर डिस्कशन में कोशिश ये करते हैं कि पर्सपेक्टिव हर लेवल, हर स्ट्रेटा से इस डिस्कशन में आ सके, क्योंकि हम एक ऐसे डाइवर्स इकोसिस्टम में काम करते हैं एजुकेशन में, जहां पे बहुत अलग अलग तरीके के माइंडसेट्स, अलग अलग तरीके की ज्योग्राफीज, अलग अलग तरीके के बैकग्राउंड हमें हैंडल करने होते हैं. तो इसलिए और इंक्लूसिव बनाने के लिए हम हर प्लेटफॉर्म पे, हर जगह से, हर स्ट्रेटा से लोगों को बुलाते हैं, ताकि हर एक की ओपिनियन, परसेप्शन हमें थोड़ा सा समझ में आ सके. सो थैंक यू आशीष जी, आपने एक अलग तरीके का पर्सपेक्टिव ऐड किया डिस्कशन में. लेट मी नाउ इनवाइट द नेक्स्ट स्पीकर फॉर टुडे, मिस Gilda, who's a PhD and is the CEO of Positive Ed from London. Hello, Gilda. Welcome to the Global Education Meet. The next 3 minutes are yours. Over to you.
Brilliant. Good morning. Thank you very much for having me. And it's wonderful to hear everyone views on how to restart the education. And obviously coming from the UK at the moment, we just been announced about a national lockdown yet again. So obviously, it's a huge concern. So unlike all of you, I'm coming from a different perspective. I'm going to bring well-being and mental toughness and resilience into the midst. Now, the COVID crisis may well change our world and our global outlook. It might also teach us about how education needs to change to be able to better prepare our young learners for the future might hold. But there are three things which I think it's very, very important. I work with the hundreds of schools around the world, a lot of work I do in United Arab Emirates. It's the importance of well-being in schools. But also, before I go into the well-being, I want to point out the redefining the role of the educator. The notion of an educator as the knowledge holder who imparts wisdom to their pupils, it's no longer fit. We know that. And it's wonderful to hear all these initiatives from educators in terms of knowledge, in terms of curriculum, in terms of being adaptable and flexible on how to deliver knowledge. But with students being able to gain access to knowledge so quickly now, and even learn a technical skill through a few clicks on their phones and the tablets, we will need to redefine that role of the educator in a classroom. And this starts with resilience, you know, because we look always at the students, we only think about restarting education, what can we do for the students, but what can we do for the teachers? It's so, so important, you know, the well-being of a teacher. If you have a teacher who's low morale or hasn't got the ability to manage their emotions, it's like a domino effect in a classroom. So we really need to look at the role to move towards facilitating young people's development as contributing member of the society. We need to look at the flexibility, but also embedding this self-awareness. We talk about knowledge a lot, but when we come to resilience and emotional intelligence or understanding, we have to remember that all these students, when they do very well in school, they do because they're confident, because they believe in them. They've got an element of self-efficacy. Now, if you take away, especially being cooped up in a room or having only to go outside from your house and go back in a room. I've got a 17-year-old son who does what he does from 8 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock. He doesn't have a break. It has a huge impact on the mental health, and they need to learn to regulate, you know, and it's not all about external anymore. It's about giving them the tools. I do a lot of, my research is in mental toughness in education, and I do a lot of program for schools in empowering young people to become the architects of their own well-being and success by saying, you know what, this is my responsibility. Whatever happens outside, I can't change the pandemic. I can't change I can't go to school, but what can I do to do better, to feel better? So all these elements, you know, this social and emotional learning is really, really important. And another point I want to make is the educating citizen in an interconnected world. And this is, for me, is very, very important because the pandemic illustrates how globally interconnected you are. I'm here with you speaking at an event which I would previously have to take a plane to go. And I have been fortunate enough to do that before, but now I can't.
Thank you so much, Gilda. And since the time is over, so just summarize what you said. You talked about emotional intelligence, emotional composure, internalizing things, building resilience. Because ab jab bacche वापस से, when kids typically go back to their schools, they would have a different kind of an atmosphere with social distancing in place, a lot of sanitizers being used, so they don't know how to react. Our reactions, our emotional reactions, internal understanding of things will drastically change. So as humans, we need to get trained again, because we are now trained in technology, but as humans, we need a new training to be human again. And the biggest thing that is needed right now in the whole education ecosystem is to try to create the feeling of community and commune, and understanding how benefits exchange between communities and individuals. Because this is something that technology made us forget. And this is something that we need much more now with so much of technology coming in our lives. So thank you so much, Gilda. Let me now invite the next speaker, Dr. Komal Chandra Joshi, who's a senior educationist and a national awardee by the government of India, and was a former principal from Haldwani in Uttarakhand. So Komalji, a very warm welcome to you to the platform. The next 3 minutes are yours. Please unmute your audio. I think there is a technical issue. We'll come back to Komalji again. Let me now invite the next speaker for today, Mr. Abhishek Bagchi, Principal, RMPS International School from Bharuch, Gujarat. Abhishek ji, over to you for the next 3 minutes. A very warm welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. Happy New Year to each and everyone. And thank you, Daksh. Like by this time, like I've already understood, like if Daksh appears on the screen, that means the time is up. So I'll take that key. So, okay. Yes, it's a very interesting topic, and our eminent speakers, our principals have already spoke a lot about it. But my point here is a little different, because I believe that the students are great learners. So they will be adapting very, very fast. They will be adapting to any kind of situations. They have got a like present brain capacity, which allow them to learn pretty fast. My worry is like we have put our teachers under tremendous stress already in the last 1 year. We have told them to go completely, like online suddenly. Then we have like coming back again to the offline classes. And I am not sure, like when the schools will start, like how many parents will be sending the kids until unless the full vaccination is over. So there will be a challenge. There will not be a full class going on here. So we need to, as all the other principals have said, we have to create an environment of blended learning here, where it will be a nice salad. It has to be tasty and healthy salad, which we need to present as including all the pedagogies possible. It is a challenge because we need to transform all our teachers and train our teachers according to that medium, and including NCF and the whole NEP which is coming up. That's very interesting and exciting NEP and NCF, which will be, as per promise, will be released in March probably. So that will be including having the inclusions, the cross-curricular stuff, and a lot of skill development. So what is my area? Why? One second. So my area of concern is not about the students, again, I'm repeating, because they will be adapting very soon. Another area, just give me 1 more minute, right? So another area is definitely the pre-primary area, which is not going to open very fast. Okay, that will take more time. So there is like a huge amount of like students who are like waiting there, okay, and they are getting impatient. They are slowly forgetting the meaning of school because they are out of the school. So I would suggest, like, to all my principals, which I like, or we are doing it in our school, like have a like conversation, like at least over phone, WhatsApp call, video call with your students, like including like the coordinators, the teachers, and even the principal himself or herself. Go for a conversation, at least a phone call or video call with your students, so that the connect is like there. Okay, the connect stays. That's my take into it. It is not going to be easy for our teachers and all educators. It's going to be tough. It may sound like we can throw a lot of jargons and a lot of terminologies here, but it's not going to be easy in the ground level. A lot of transformation required. It's absolutely superb to hear Neeti ma'am like starting the sports initiative.
Thank you so much, Abhishek. The time was over. And yes, आपने जो बात कही वो सही है कि execution won't be so easy. It's going to be a big challenge. March में हम लोग expect कर रहे हैं the National Curriculum Framework to come out, जिससे बहुत सारी expectations हैं. लेकिन जैसा कविता जी ने भी कहा कि let the government be a little more clear. उनके instructions बहुत बार ambivalent होते हैं, समझ में नहीं आते कौन से direction में जा रहे हैं. So we need to be even more prepared when we talk about execution, because that's going to be the big challenge now. Let me invite the next speaker for today, Dr. Priyadarshini Devghare, Director Academics and the Principal, the Achievers School from Nagpur, Maharashtra. Priyadarshini ma'am, a very warm welcome. The next 3 minutes are yours.
Thank you, Daksh, and a very warm welcome and a very happy new year to all of you. Let us all hope that we bring the children back to the campus in this year. Okay, there are a couple of points which I would like to share. That we have opened partially in Nagpur. We are allowed to open the schools from grade 9 to grade 12. So what we did, the strategies that we adopted for adaptation is, we have designed independent personalized learning program for the children. So this was to bridge the gap that, if any, that was there in the online learning module that we had run. Sometimes the children had net connectivity issues, they couldn't grasp the entire concepts. So we have made the entire learning material available at their disposal. We have made the material available offline also. The children can come and access it. The children can come and access it in the school. They can access it from home. Secondly, we have taken the care to ensure that the emotional well-being of the children is taken care of. I have asked my counselor, I have given her 1 period per week in each class, and the counselor just talks with the children. And then she has also given her personal number, and whosoever is feeling like lonely or having any other emotional problems, the children are free to talk to the counselor at any point in time. She has shared the email ID with them, they can share their problems. So that part we are doing to take care of the emotional well-being of the children. because the children have adapted to the technology very fast. As we all know, the younger generation is always smarter than the older ones, and they somehow used to play mobile games and all. So they don't think that there is something wrong if the school is online. They have taken it in their stride and they are coping up very well with it. But the being confined to a room has definitely taken emotional toll. So we have ensured that. Then we have trained the teachers for both the things, for online teaching as well as for offline teaching, and we took care of their emotional well-being too. We have talked.
Thank you so much, Priyadarshini ma'am. Let me now invite the next speaker for today, Ms. Rabia Bhatia, Life Skills Trainer and Chief Mentor. Rabia ji, over to you for the next 3 minutes. A very warm welcome.
Hi, Daksh. Thank you so much. A very good afternoon, good morning, and namaste to all my panelists. And thank you, Daksh, once again for inviting me on the Blub platform to share my views about the redefining the education. As you know, one of my panelists has already shared the details. Like Glida already said that we are focusing on everything digital, how to be digital, to be more focused, how to be more engaged in the class. And Dr. Priyadarshini also very rightly said that they have been taking care of the emotional well-being of the student, which is a very, very important factor in redefining the education system. At the end of the day, I think one of my panelists shared the details about Ikigai, and very beautifully he connected the Japanese and the Indian education system. What is the purpose of this education actually? Which I think we have been missing in these traditional years. And this COVID has actually taught us a lot that what is the purpose of education. We are getting knowledge from the books, we are getting knowledge from a lot of technological apps, digital apps, from YouTube videos, everything we are getting. But the main focus area is missing, which is like happiness of each and every individual. The happiness is missing. This COVID, we were not prepared. We were not ready to accept this trauma because of the fact that we were so engaged in those blackboard teachings, in those, traditional areas of teaching, traditional ways of teaching, rote learning. But what was missing was the compassion, that feeling of understanding each and every individual, the feeling of understanding the parents' mindset. But this COVID has taught us that every individual, every life is important. We have to take care of the well-being of each and every student along with the parents as well. The parents are also going through the trauma, difficult situation during this scenario. Why? As being an educator, we are also parent at the end of the day. And if we are not getting salaries, full salaries, if we are not getting, we are getting unemployed, the jobs are gone. So I think the parents' mindset, the parents' frustration is again affecting the students' well-being even. Similarly,
Thank you so much, Rabia ma'am. पूरी education from mass education से एकदम से individualistic हो गई है, personalized हो गई है, क्योंकि अब उसकी जरूरत हो गई. Everybody now has an opinion, and that opinion is very, very strong. और वो बच्चों के साथ भी हो गया है. So at this point, we need to customize education according to each individual. So let me now invite the next speaker, Ms. Shefali Bose, who's an educator with the Kendriya Vidyalaya in Mumbai. So Shefali ma'am, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute your audio.
Yeah, you're able to hear me?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay. So everybody has been talking about the infrastructure, in the sense that they want that there should be sanitization, there should be this and that, and lot of planning about how we can bring children to the classroom. But I, as an educator who has been teaching for 37 long years to the teenagers, you know why I add this term of teenagers? Because it's a difficult group to teach. They are emotionally disturbed, they are physically being disturbed, and they have the the work of learning, so-called attainment of marks, 90%, 98%, that pressure. So I would like to put forth few questions. When we will be changing our attitude as we look at education? Are we still going to look IQ based on scoring marks? If somebody scores 99, he is intelligent, and somebody who scores 97 is little less intelligent than the one who gets 99. Will finishing the syllabus be always the priority? When are we going to talk of discipline? Why do we talk of discipline? Because we are losing control on the other human being, whether a student or a teacher. According to me, we are giving lot of technology, apps, this, that. Still, I have seen teachers teaching in front of the camera for 30 minutes, which you provide, on a whiteboard, writing continuously, and child continuously only listening to the teacher and writing in their notebooks. Are we not going to train our teachers? The ways of smartly using synchronous and asynchronous teaching? Is it all about apps and softwares which the company is providing? Or will it be helpful to open the mindset of teachers, where the pedagogy and the technology can be blended beautifully? Who is going to do? The industry, or the experienced teachers, or those who are controlling the teachers and the students? So I believe now there was a discussion about that there are virtual labs. Yes, PhET simulation is one of the most beautiful labs. How many of us are allowing children to play on PhET simulation? Are we teaching them how to play? Yes, I agree. Children can learn technology very fast. Children can learn technology very fast. Do we teach them how to use it wisely? Who is going to teach them that? Cyber safety, we say it's not a safe space. Whose responsibility it is? Teachers, principals, students, parents, and the people who are making the software. Isn't it their responsibility to create a safe space for them? And then I'm coming to almost the last end. We talk about divide. Digital divide is, now a focus. There is a permanent divide in the classroom throughout the year. Throughout these years, I have been teaching, whether it is an economic divide, whether it is a mark scoring divide, we always divide.
Thank you so much, Shefali ma'am. You added the executioners, या जो execute करने वाला है उसका perspective आपने जोड़ दिया, एक teacher का जोड़ दिया, क्योंकि बहुत सारे लोग बच्चों की भी care कर रहे हैं, बहुत जने management की care कर रहे हैं, कुछ resources की care कर रहे हैं, कुछ edtech की care कर रहे हैं, लेकिन ये भूल गए कि जो पूरी industry का backbone है उसकी care कोई नहीं कर रहा, because इन सब पे ऊपर जिम्मेदारी डाली गई, उसके लिए resources नहीं दिए गए, उसके लिए resourceful training भी नहीं दी गई, and they were not taken really good care, जबकि सब कुछ इन्हीं के भरोसे था. So thank you so much, ma'am, for your amazingly, awakening speech with all of us. Chali, let me now invite the next speaker for today, Mr. Aditya Sarup Bhatt, who's an author and the founder of Author Mandala Book from Bengaluru. So Aditya ji, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute your audio.
Yeah, thank you, Daksh, for having me on board on this beautiful gathering. Very quick points. First thing is that I'm a son of a teacher who's been teaching for 20 years. That's my mom. And one thing that I've noticed is that there has to be unity among teachers, the hierarchy in the management. So there's always, I've always noticed my mother gossiping, and there's always that happens. And that is very key. I've always spoken this out with my mom, that there needs to be unity among teachers in the management. Second is, let's stop feeding on the insecurity of parents by advertising that ye hai iska marks on big billboards, on roads. I come from Mangalore. My birthplace is Mangalore, which is an education hub. Let's stop feeding on the insecurities. I've worked for a brief time for a edtech firm. The first thing that they teach you is that you have to break the ego. Bachon ko kuch nahi aata. They don't know the concepts. Show them that how a tab, a device, which is basically a brain hacking device, which is going to ruin the child's mind. A simple idea that I would like to suggest is parents have to have a tab on their online footprint. Ki wo kya dekh rahe hain. Apart from studies, we need to have an online footprint. What are they looking into? Because now we see a trend that we are a very youthful nation. We are the youngest nation of this country, and there's a lot of content which is disturbing young minds. I'm talking about teenagers. I'm talking about, what I'm talking about. when it comes to schools, like beautifully put out by, I think, a teacher, where she said about rehabilitation center. We need counselors, therapists on board with the schools. Next, a simple idea. Are we going to give tabs to all these children? We are going to be a education e-junk, you can say, in coming future, e-waste. What about that? Instead of that, can one urban school adopt a rural school? Let's just provide with basic projector where we give recorded videos with maintaining social distance. One more thing that I would like to say is that children are going to choose. There's no box anymore. They're going to choose different teachers from across the world using internet. So the monopoly, the control that ye mere bacche hain, this is my students, my education students, and we are going to compete against other students, that's going to break away. I'm talking about when you had mentioned that it's only 6% attendance. I feel that students will come out and tell to their parents that, look, with this fees that you're paying, why can't I have a better option of learning from various forums? One more thing is that we are going to collaborate. Schools like banks are going to merge, share ideas, get out of that thing of competition. Another thing that I would like to put across is that when I was young and I had seen my parents have some instability and fights across, I was witness to violent talks between parents, and it kind of, we are like a sponge. Young children are, the minds are like sponge. So somewhere the teacher, I was blessed to have good teachers when I was in my nursery who could call the parents.
Thank you so much, Aditya ji. The time slot was over, but some amazing insights की पेरेंट्स की इनसिक्योरिटीज पे अपना पूरा बिजनेस बेस करना और उसको कंटिन्यूअसली एक्सप्लॉइट करना शायद बंद कर देना चाहिए काफी हद तक. सो इंडस्ट्री रिस्पांसिबिलिटी कम्स एट दिस पॉइंट इन एजुकेशन, एंड अब व्हेन एजुकेशन इज एब्सोल्युटली ओपन फॉर एवरीबॉडी टू कम इन एंड वेंचर, आई थिंक ये रिस्पांसिबिलिटी सभी को एज इंडिविजुअल्स लेनी होगी कि आप जहां भी हो, जैसे भी हो, इन वैल्यूज का ध्यान आप थोड़ा सा खुद रख लें. सो बिफोर वी कंक्लूड दिस टॉक, क्योंकि अभी इतने सारे अमेजिंग थॉट्स हमारे पास में आए, so before this talk comes to a conclusion, let me explain a little bit about Blub. Blub works on a very simple concept of finding teenagers who are doing great in life and sharing their stories with other teens. Because the biggest problem with inspiration is कि अगर आपको मैं इंस्पायर करूं किसी बहुत पुराने ग्लोबल लीडर से या तूतनखामन से, तो आपके लिए बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज है उससे रिलेट कर पाना. So Blub worked on a simple concept. Let's find stories that are relatable to teens and which actually inspire them. So let me come to the story with which we'll conclude this talk. इतने बहुत सारे amazing thoughts आ जाए, and ये आइडिया रिपोजिटरी 2021 में आपकी एजुकेशन के अंदर जो भी आप काम कर रहे हैं उसमें आपके लिए हेल्पफुल हो. We'll be publishing some of the best ideas in the next edition of Blub World in the white paper, and a small story of one such teenager who has been inspiring a lot of teens across the globe. This girl had her first painting exhibition at the age of 2, and it was a complete sold out house. She had the second exhibit at the age of 4, which was again a sold out. At the age of 7, she was invited by one of the biggest art galleries in New York, where she again had an absolutely sold out show. Right now, she's only 13 years old, lives in Melbourne, Australia, and has never went to a school. She's homeschooled, she's an amazing painter, and is known as the world's youngest professional painter, and that was on the cover page of some days back on the edition, and that's Elita Andre. And Elita was with us on this very platform some time back, where she addressed nearly 10,000 students from all across the world from different schools. So today, when we conclude this talk, just some small little information for all of you. The Global Education Meet will end on the 10th of January 2021 on Sunday from morning 9 to 1. And we have an amazing lineup of guests on that day talking about the conclusion of all these ideas that we get from all the school leaders that we talk to in the next 3-4 more days. In the morning, we'll be having the chairman of AICTE, Anil Sahasrabudhe. In the afternoon, we'll have Padma Shri Gauri Ishwaran talking about her innovative strategies for 2021. And after that, in the conclusion, we'll have Dr. Sanjay Roy, the founder of the Jaipur Literature Festival, talking about literature and schools in the coming times. Before this comes to an end, if anyone in the call has missed anything important, and if you want to take a minute to speak something, you can just put your hand up or raise a hand, and I'll give you the next minute before we conclude this talk, because I don't want any idea to be lost in the management of this call. So if anything is lost, if you want to say something, you can still raise your hand. Okay, I think everybody is quite convinced and satisfied. So thank you so much, people, for being a part of the Blub World Web Talks and the Blub World Global Education Meet. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, and if you want to attend the future sessions, please open your audio, say a big yes, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Daksh. Thank you, Daksh.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, each and everyone.
Thank you, and yes,
Thank you,
I
everyone.
would like to join.
Thank you
Yes,
so much.
I would like to join. Yes.
I also would like to join.
It was a pleasure.
Namaste. Thank you all the guests for taking out the time to be with us.
Thank you.